Yeah, the first sign we're approaching the tropics. Flying fish. It is Tuesday, the 6th of December, 2022. And we're at approximately 31 degrees north and 70 degrees 20 minutes west. Normally I'd steer a little further east on this passage, but we got this low pressure to the southeast of us that's forming. And so in the interests of hopefully avoiding some really strong winds from that low, steering just a more direct, even a more westerly track than I normally sail for this passage. The reason you want to get out east is because the trade winds, when you get down south, blow out of the east. But we're still pretty far well up north, and there's plenty of time to recover that easting. What I'm referring to is what might be called the classic strategy when sailing from the U.S. East Coast to the Caribbean, or in my case to Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands. Generally, this passage is done right at the end of the cyclone season, November, December. And north of 30 north, when departing the U.S. East Coast, generally the winds will tend to be westerly, alternating between southwest as fronts approach, and then northwest and north as the fronts pass and the high pressure systems build in. However, as you get down south, particularly south of about 25 north, you'll get into the trade winds, which is a semi-permanent weather pattern. And those winds generally blow out of the east, sometimes a little north of east, sometimes a bit south of east. And so the strategy is to make a dogleg. And so initially steer southeast out to a waypoint of, say, 27 north and 65 west if you're going to the Virgin Islands. Or generally speaking, just get on the longitude of the island you're steering for. So that way, once you reach your waypoint, then your course is due south. And so hopefully when you get into the trade winds, you'll be on a beam reach. What you really want to avoid is having to slog into trade winds. If you've ever done that in a cruising boat, especially an engineless one, you know that you don't want to do that again. Yeah, so as I said, there's a low that's forming to the southeast. And so far these winds are not bad. It's quite pleasant, relatively speaking. We got northeast winds. They're kind of hanging around 15 knots or so. Been that way all night. They're supposed to gradually build tonight. And looks like we're going to have 20 to 25 by morning tomorrow. And then it looks like tomorrow afternoon is when it's really going to, then basically we're going to have 20 to 30 knots. And that's going to continue tomorrow Wednesday night into Thursday. There's our brilliant full moon. It's Tuesday, 6th of December. Looks like tomorrow Wednesday is when these winds are going to top out. We're going to get a pulse of about 20 to 30 knots. I'm probably going to have to take that staysail off and go down to the heavy weather. Hopefully that'll reduce the rags enough. So Wednesday morning dawns fair, with building northeasterly winds as forecast. Though she's fairly comfortable at present, I'm going to opt to reef early, get that reef staysail in and replace it with the smaller heavy weather staysail, as the winds are forecast to increase still further. It's very important to get a lashing or a head stop on the halyard before you start doing anything else, as you You most definitely don't want to lose the halyard up the mast way out here. So I've hauled the heavy weather staysail to the foredeck. And first thing is to get the tack pennant secured. That at least gets one part of the sail secured to the boat. As in these conditions, a wave or a good gust of wind could take that sail overboard, and that'd be the end of it. The next step is to begin hanking it onto the forestay. And you have to take your time, work in between the waves there. Sometimes when the motion is too rough, you just have to stop, hang on, and then get back to work. So finally tie the sheets in, and be careful. Notice I still have the head stop on when I'm transferring the halyard, just so I don't lose that halyard. Alright, finally heave away. Below that coffee, morning coffee, and it all seems well on deck. They stood there by the rail while the swift ship tore on out of the tropics, straining her sheets, whitening her trackway to a milky strip, dim with green bubbles and twisted water meats. Her clacking tackle tugged at pins and cleats. Her great sails bellied stiff. Her great mast leaned. They watched how the sea struck and burst and greened. So I talked with Dauber, standing by the side. "Why do you come to sea, painter?" he said. "I want to be a painter," he replied, "and know the sea and ships from A to Z, and paint great ships at sea before I'm dead. Ships under skysails running down the trade. Ships in the sea, there's nothing finer made. It's not been done, the sea, not yet been done, from the inside by one who really knows. I'd give up all if I could be the one, but art comes dear the way the money goes. So I've come to sea, and I suppose 3 years will teach me all I want to learn, and make enough to keep me till I earn." Even as he spoke, his busy pencil moved, drawing the leap of water off the side, where the great clipper trampled iron-hooved, making the blue hills of the sea divide, shearing a glittering scatter in her stride, and leaping on full tilt with all sails drawing, proud as a warhorse snuffing battle pawing. "I cannot get it yet, not yet," he said. That leap and light and sudden change to green, and all the glittering from the sunset's red, and the milky colors where the bursts had been. And then the clipper striding like a queen, over it all beauty to the crown. I see it all, I cannot put it down. Wax on, wax off. Conditions are now beginning to ease. And I've gone back to the reef staysail. I took in the heavy weather staysail. And now I'm going to shake that reef out of the staysail. Give her a little more driving power, keep her moving here. Generally, shaking reefs out is easier than putting them in, as you're doing it while conditions are moderating. She's still got the bone in her teeth. We're moving at a good clip. but conditions have moderated enough so that I can take a bucket bath in the cockpit, scrub off a few layers of grime. Consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron. As a patron, you will be able to view my videos free of ads. You will also be able to leave comments, ask questions, and message me directly. You can become a patron for as little as $5 a month.